All right, what's going on, traders? Another one here from the Dark Side family, and this is just a quick one. We were talking about this in our community last night, and I figured I'd share it with you guys because I think it's interesting, and I think it'll trigger some thought within people who are stuck on the one concept theory, and whether it's retail, smart money, supply and demand, Fibonacci, whatever it is that you do, and how we always say that things work sometimes. But it's not if they work, it's when they work, and that's our main theory behind the way we trade. So, here we have GJ. This is today's price action right now, December 17th. And the look that I was talking about last night was a real clear and easy to spot retail play. And if you just grab your trend line here and you draw it out, you can see, let's get it nice and tight, you can see exactly what was taking place. Okay, you've got ascending order flow respecting this trend line. You've got very clean taps, and this is live price action right now. And you've got let's clean it up even more. You've got very, very, very clean price action coming in. And as we know by now, I mean, it takes millions of dollars to move the market just one pip. So when you see a clean touch like this here, and then you see a precise touch here, and a precise touch here, this is not by chance. This is the composite operator directly using a trend line. Whether it be for manipulation or whether it be to trigger people into the market, you can call it whatever you'd like. But the fact of the matter is it's real. So when you say trend lines don't work, you can't say that, because if you look here, you'll see where trend lines work. You can see trend line buyers may have purchased there. They may have bought there, and they would have caught this whole push to the upside. They may have waited for the consolidation, bought it at this trend line touch, bought it here, and then caught this whole move. So you can never argue against somebody's strategy and say trend lines don't work. Because if trend lines never work, then people wouldn't recognize trend lines as a way to enter the market. So what good does that do to a composite operator who's trying to manipulate you in with the trend line? It doesn't work. That's why every strategy works as much as it doesn't work. So again, let's take another closer look. Let's go down to the 4 hour real quick. You can see the descending order flow right here into the trend line. So let's just highlight that real quick. Here, 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 lower high, lower low. You've got your, let me back that up. You got your descending order flow that came in nice and hot. So a lot of people were looking to sell this area. Now, again, if you're a retail trader, you probably had your Fibonacci drawn out, which is, again, I use Fibonacci. I don't know why anybody wouldn't use Fib. Use everything you can. Why not? They're tools, help them, help you navigate through the market. Anyway, so if you look at the Fibonacci, it was a perfect touch of 61.8. Perfect. So if you're a retail trader, this is an ideal scenario for you, because as we back it up and take a closer look at what's happening, let's just take a quick look at the 8 hour. We can see what took place. Very clean. You've got your break of your trend line. Okay, you've got your break right here. Big push to the downside. You've got your 61.8 rejection, which is perfect, along with the trend line touch, which is added confluence. And then you've also got your 4 hour. You've got a bearish engulfing candle here. You can see this red one right here. That would be a bearish engulfing. You've got all kinds of signals to bring retail sellers into the market. I think they're calling this doji or indecision candle, whatever it is, but you've got a 1 hour bearish engulfing. You've got a precise touch to the trend line. You've got all these things that are telling you that this is a valid sell for you guys. And I agree. I mean, why wouldn't you sell it? This is what you guys look for. Does it work every time? Probably not. I'm sure you all realize that by now. But it does work sometimes, So for anybody that's criticizing you about trading retail, they can show you the 61.8 trend line trap failing as much as you can show them an order block failing. Because if you're an order block trader and you were waiting, let's just say for this, let's call this, there's a 4 hour imbalance here. Okay. We'll highlight that real quick. There's a 4 hour order block, which is the big last buy that led to the push to the downside, which broke structure. So they trade 50% of that. So let's say there's about 50% of this order block here. All right, writing that up. And again, guys, this is just to help you realize that nothing is safe. Nothing is foolproof. The more you think your strategy is going to work every time, the more likely you are to be bait, and to be collected in the liquidity sweep. Because if you were waiting for smart money, if you were waiting for a 4 hour zone up here, this order block or this imbalance or any of that, you would have failed. You would have failed. You would have never got in, and you could see 61.8 retail won this time. So sometimes retail wins, sometimes smart money wins, sometimes supply and demand wins, sometimes Fibonacci wins, sometimes candlestick patterns win. It all depends on what the CEO's goal is, and what who he's trying to invite to the market to participate. So as we can see, this is going on. If you look around, you'll see other scenarios taking place as well. You've got trend lines coming in. There's probably going to be people who will buy from here if price decides to reach there, depending on what the CEO would like to do. So we really don't know his full intentions until things actually happen. That's one of the problems with schematics. You'll see a schematic and it'll look like this, and you'll say this is your spring and it's perfect. But you don't know if a schematic is actual schematic till it's complete, and by that time it's too late. So this might be a spring for some person, but somebody looking at a different way can look at this as a break of structure and look to sell the market out of here. You see, so there's so many different ways to look at the market that you really can't just decide what it's going to do and how it's going to do it and why it's going to do it. Because here's a perfect example of retail working. And I mean, this is perfect. This trend line touch, these touches here, they're perfect. 61.8 bearish engulfing, nice push to the downside. It's great. Structural traders would have been left out, you know. And I was looking at this last night. I didn't get in. My scenario didn't happen for me. But I was looking at, downside, downside. I would have looked to sell into this area, but it didn't come in for us. But if you were trading retail, somebody was looking at a retail perspective, they would have got in right here. So it just all it the best thing to do when you're looking at the market is to remain just fluid, remain open minded, to have a perspective from a standpoint to where you don't know what's going to happen until it's fully presented to you, and to understand what the other side is doing, you know. So I thought this might be a good example to point out to you guys. If you're a retail trader, congratulations. That's a nice little bearish move that you caught. Do I think it's sustainable? Probably not. They're probably going to come get you soon. But it was a cool move. Always make sure you take profit. Always make sure you take your partials. Don't focus on this. Don't look for another move like this to the downside. Price comes here. You don't have to look for a lower low in a BOS. Don't worry about that. Make sure you take some money off the table. Put some money in the bank. This way you can have a nice win under your belt, and that'll pay for your next trade. You know what I mean? That's the key, guys. To compound that money, make it work for you, and to do what you can to just build capital. Man. So again, this was just a simple one I wanted to point out. For people who tell you that retail doesn't work, listen, retail works as much as smart money works. It works as much as supply and demand works. It works as much as EMAs work. They all work when they need to work because that's part of the bigger plan, and that's to invite you into the market to later take your money. So I hope you guys got some value out of this one. Just a quick one from the Dark Side family, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks, guys. And be sure to follow our Telegram and our YouTube channel. We're always bringing up more content. We're bringing up polls, trying to get new ideas for you guys. See what you guys would like us to touch on, and we'll talk to you soon.